Hello people, and welcome back to the Redundancy Crusader Talks To. Today I'm talking again to Annabel Kaye, Employment Law Specialist. Welcome back, Annabel. And today we're discussing the topic of why does HR turn everything off? Now that could apply to lots of things, but I think in this segment we're just going to be focusing on why do HR turn off the technological things.
One of the things HR think they are there for is to protect the business from the people in the business.
Okay.
It's hard to get your mind around put that way, but it is a key part of HR's role. We saw last week a classic piece of social media usage by employees who were not turned off in the technological sense, when the workforce of HMV, who were being wholesale sacked by the liquidators, got hold of HMV's official tweet stream, and someone started tweeting what was going on. You might find the study of that interesting for your own videos in greater depth. HR live in terror that employees at risk of dismissal will hijack the company tweet stream, email all their colleagues, email your competitors, steal your data, breach the Data Protection Act, all the things you can go on for hours about. This stems from, really in the 80s, the big financial institutions had computer systems that their employees had access to. And the minute you were at risk of dismissal, they locked you out. They believed, possibly with some justification, that as a result of the way they were treating people, anyone who could get access to doing them harm would do them harm. So the HR model became, before we do anything, before we even have a conversation with you that says your job might be at risk, we will ensure that when you're in that room virtually, all your access to your email, to your databases, to corporate social media accounts will be turned off. So HR are in the business of turning everything off, but of course it has some quite dramatic effects on individuals who were suddenly switched off. They're no longer connected to anyone in that way.
Isn't that interesting that there's a presumption of guilt rather than innocence? Because the starting point is that they're going to go and do this.
Well, I have known people do it, so it's catch-22, isn't it? You treat people as if they're going to do something awful, and then quite often that triggers people doing something awful. But if you don't protect your clients' data and your financial data and your medical data, and something goes wrong, people will come back to you and say, I can't believe you didn't foresee that, and ensure that your systems were safe when you knew you had a potentially disaffected employee who had access to them.
Okay, so the question that springs to my mind is there a way of doing that where effectively both sides get looked after, so the employee doesn't feel as though, as well as being rejected on a human level, he or she is also being rejected on a technological level, but that the company data is still protected?
I think a lot is in how it's handled. I don't think it's right that someone should go to their PC to send a farewell email to their colleagues, for example, to discover that they've been technologically barred.
Right.
I think if you're going to do that to someone, you should let them know. You should spare them the humiliation of logging on and being electronically rejected. And I think you should tell them why. And I don't mean, I think you might defraud the company and trash all the data, but we have a policy because we have to protect data, that we treat everyone the same, and this is what we do.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people think it's just being done to them. And there's the world of difference between everyone that's at risk of dismissal has no access to this data, and saying nothing, and you going and finding you don't.
Yes.
Because you don't have any context for that. But I think we also need to limit the times when we do that to when we really do have data at risk. It shouldn't be a knee-jerk. As employers think, if we don't let them have access to email, they can't say anything. Well, you know, you get out your phone and you get on Twitter and you've just been sacked anyway. So it's much more important to manage the relationship, isn't it? So they don't want to say what evil people
Yes,
they are,
yes.
than it is in a way to manage the technology. Because we live in a world now where I've got enough technology in my handbag to speak to the universe. I don't need to be on your corporate PC to do it, do I? So we need to change it, but we also need to explain what we're doing and why we're doing it before we do it.
Yes.
No surprises, no ambushes.
No surprises, no ambushes. Great place to end. Annabel, thank you.